What is up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video. That's right, your boy Duty is doing some investigative work, and this is part 2 of my review of DSP Gaming's new merch shop, or Dark Side Phil's new merch shop. Now, if you guys haven't watched any content, you guys probably don't know that Phil finally, after 2 years, decided to open up a merch shop. It looks like it's being sponsored by Shopify, but I'm not sure who specifically is creating the shirts. I think it's a company outside of America, it might be in Europe. So they're the ones that take the orders, fulfill them, and and it's done through this Shopify channel. So in the first part of my video, I took a look at the refund policy, which is not a good one. It's a pretty crappy refund policy. Essentially, no refunds. If you run into an issue with your merchandise, make sure to call us right away so that we can evaluate whether or not we're going to replace the item, which is always a pretty scummy return policy. A return policy should be, you can return it for whatever you like within like 30 days. That's kind of like the go-to in refund policies, but not this merch store. This merch store says it doesn't matter what you get, what you buy. If it's the wrong size, too bad, you're out of luck. We might consider replacing it. And I'm assuming that's based on whether or not you ship back the item. So who pays for that shipping? The storefront, or do you? I'm assuming you do. You have to send it to them. They'll review it to see if it's warrants of replacement or whatever, and then they'll ship you a new item, and you probably have to pay for that shipping as well. So by the end of the day, you're probably paying for the merch twice. So that refund policy is pretty shitty, pretty terrible. Anyone considering buying anything from the merch store should look at that. And I'm positive Phil hasn't brought that issue up or even spoken about it. He's so happy talking about his Philomania shirt and the fact that 8 people bought merchandise. 8 people on your opening day, your grand opening. You've been hyping this up for like almost a year. You've been really hyping it up for about 3 months, and you get 8 dents to come out and drop some cash. That's pretty sad, being the fact that typically your first day, for a merch store, you usually get the biggest hype. So you talk about it, you present it, you make it a highlight of your podcast, and hopefully people go and buy. The mere fact that 8 people bought something is pretty fucking pathetic, because going forward, no one's really going to care. The hype is dead, no one really cares, and you might be lucky if 1 or 2 people buy something a month. And he's going to be back to where he was with Teesprings, where he may have made about $150 a year on the merch store. And he's going to give up and not create new merchandise. And he'll just let it sit there for anyone who wants to waste their money. And it'll be just like shorts and every other thing Phil has done with his channel. Throwback React, but he's going to be wage quitting. The React channel is just an afterthought. All he cares about is people just paying him memberships. And this will be the next thing. I guarantee it. Trust me. Once the hype, where 8 people, 8 dents spend money on this crap, once that dies down, Phil's just going to not even mention it or talk about it whatsoever. He'll have a link on his videos. Nightbot will be spamming the shit out of that, along with the tip command. And so okay. Anyway, just going to give it a little bit of background of what's going on with Phil's merch shop. By the way, this actually was brought up by a few individuals on Twitter. My apologies, I couldn't think specifically who it was, but I know it's a pretty couple detractors that talked about it. So big ups to them for bringing it up. I'm making this a second part of my first video, where in the first video, like I said, I looked at the refund policy, which is pretty shitty, since of course Phil won't. And the next thing I want to look at is the privacy policy. Let's look at the privacy policy of this website, or Phil's store. Alrighty, so here is the policy, which was last updated September 29, 2024. And it states, this privacy policy describes how Dark Side Phil, the site, we, us, or our, collects, uses, and discloses your personal information when you visit. use our service, or make a purchase from darksidephil.shop, the site, or otherwise communicate with us regarding the site. Collectively, the service. Now, before I go any further, you shouldn't go on this page without a VPN. Anything that Phil ever promotes or gives you, never go on it without a VPN. Your boy Duty does have a VPN, so I actually have a dedicated VPN for myself, so I'm not worried about it. But if you're ever going to go out on any of these websites, especially if Phil is recommending it, make sure that you have a VPN. You don't want Phil getting your getting your IP address. Okay? All right, so let's keep going. For the purpose of this privacy policy, you and yours means you as the user of the services, whether you are a customer, a website vendor, or another individual whose information we have collected pursuant to the privacy policy. Please read this privacy policy carefully. Remember, Phil didn't mention this or even brought this up. I wonder why. Phil didn't bother bringing this up. Alrighty. Changes to the privacy policy. We've made updates to the privacy policy from time to time, including to reflect changes to our practices or for other operations, legal, or regulatory reasons. Basically saying that if they get sued and they have to modify their policy, they'll make an update here. We will post a revised privacy policy on this site, update the last updated date, and take any other steps required by applicable law. How we collect and use your personal information right here. You notice Phil didn't talk about this. He didn't mention this. He didn't talk about this. He didn't even tell people, hey, before you decide to buy anything, you might want to look at the privacy policy. Okay, how we collect and use your personal information. To provide the service, we collect and have collected over the past 12 months personal information about you from a variety of sources as set out below. The information that we collect and use varies depending on how you interact with us. In addition to the specific uses set out below, we may use your information we collect about you to communicate with you, provide or improve the services, comply with any applicable legal obligations, enforce any applicable terms of service, and to protect or defend the services, our rights, and the rights.
Yes, you.
Alrighty, thank you.
Yes, you.
Thank you. I appreciate you for subbing, whoever that is. Enforce any applicable terms of service and protect or defend our services, our rights, and the rights of other users, our users and others. What personal information we collect? The type of personal information we obtain about you depends on how you interact with our site and use our services. We use the term personal information. We are referring to the information that identifies, relates to, describes, or can be associated with you. The following section describes the category and the specific types of personal information we collect. Information we collect directly from you. And here it is, folks. Your contact details. They take your name, your address, your phone number, your email. Very similar to PayPal when you tip Phil. Order information, including your name, billing address, shipping address, payment confirmation, emails, and phone numbers. Account information, including your username, password, security, questions, and information used for account security purposes. Customer service information, including the information you choose to include in the communications with us, for example, when sending a message through the service. Some features of the service may require you to directly provide us with certain information about yourself. You may elect to not provide this information, but doing so prevents you from using or accessing these features. Oh, how lovely. How fucking lovely. Let's see, what else? Information we collect about your usage. We may also automatically collect certain information about your interactions with the service, data use, your cookies, pixels, similar information. Usage data may include information about how you access your site, use on our site and your account, including device information, browser information, information about your network, your IP ADI, and other information. So essentially they get all this information about you. So if you're out there, visiting Pornhub, they know it. They know it. I don't know why they need to know it. Why they need to know any of this information to sell you a t-shirt is beyond my fucking capabilities. And the problem here I'm having is that you don't have an option to opt out. The only option to not to opt out is not use their service. So FYI, folks, if you're planning to buy anything, they get all this information. And I'm not sure whether Phil gets this information or not. I'm not sure if he gets to share it or if it's something that he can review. I'm not sure. When it comes to Phil and information, I don't like it. Phil being anywhere near anyone's personal information is never a good thing. Just ask Ryan, okay? All right, information we obtain from third parties. Companies who support our site, our payment process, whatever. When you visit the site or open a click or email we send you or interact with services or advertisements, we or third parties work with many automatically collect certain information using online tracking technology such as Pixel, web beacons, software developer kits, third-party libraries, and cookies. Any information we obtain from third parties will be treated in accordance with this privacy policy. So if you're on your internet browser and you have, let's say, HIV or AIDS, which is a very big thing when it comes to PHI and personal information, they get this information. They get all of this information unless you wipe clean your browser history or whatever. It seems like they get this shit. I don't understand why they need any of this bullshit to sell fucking you a crappy t-shirt from Phil's store. It's fucking ridiculous. How we use your personal information. We use your personal information to provide you with the services in order to perform our contract with you, including the process of payment. Okay, so they use it to sell you something. Okay, that's fine. What else? We may also enhance your shopping experience by enabling Shopify to match your account with other Shopify services that you may choose to use. In this case, Shopify will process your information as set forth in the privacy policy and consumer privacy policy. Marketing and advertisement. We may use your personal information marketing promotional purposes, such as to send marketing, advertising, promotional communication by email, text messages, or postal mail, and to show you advertisements for products or services. This may include using your personal information to better tailor your service and advertising on the site and other websites. What other websites? What they're doing here essentially is they're selling your information. They're selling your information to companies that buy Google, big. That's what they're doing. They're selling all your personal information. They're letting them know what you bought. They're giving them all your fucking information. They're probably giving them all your browser information. And yeah, which is pretty fucking scummy. That's pretty scummy. So let's see what else. Most browsers automatically accept cookies by default. You should have your browser set to no. That's one thing you should definitely do. Additionally, blocking cookies may not completely prevent how we share information with third parties such as advertising partners. This is a scummy ass fucking website. This is a fucking scummy website. I'm telling you right now. This is some scummy ass shit. There should be no reason why they need any of this information to sell you shit. They shouldn't. At a minimum, they should just keep it for advertising purposes to you. If they want to send you an email on a sale or something like that, they should be able just to, okay, I'll be fine with that. But taking your personal fucking history and your information and selling it is fucking scummy. And the problem is you can't even fucking opt out of any of this. Let's see what else here. Let's see. We have in the past 12 months disclosed the following categories of personal information and sensitive information about users for the purposes set out above and how we collect. Okay. So this is the categories. Identify basic contact information, your personal information, commercial information, the internet or similar network activities such as usage data. Basically, they tell them exactly what sites you've been to. Geolocation data, such as your IP address. So these motherfuckers get your IP address. Again, why do you need my IP address to buy a shitty fucking t-shirt from your fucking website? Alright, so this is fucking scummy as all fuck. I don't mind if a company does this, but you should have the option to opt the fuck out. There should be no reason why you have to do any of this bullshit. I mean, even Google allows you to fucking opt out for them selling your information. And these motherfuckers don't want to do that shit? Fuck out of here. Your rights, depending on where you live, you may have some or all of the rights listed below. Right to access to know. And again, this is location site. So if you're in Europe, you're probably good. But if you're in the United States, unless you live in California, you're pretty fucked. You have the right to delete your information. You may have the right to request that we delete personal information we obtain about you. Right to correct, right of portability, right to opt out of sales or share. You may have a right to direct us not to sell or share your information. Where exactly is that? Where can you go to do that? Where exactly can you go to do that? That's another thing. They don't even give you a fucking link to click to opt out of this bullshit. All right. So anyway, okay, folks. Yeah. By the way, folks. Yeah. This is just more scummy bullshit from this website.
You. Yes, you.
Yes, me.
You.
Yes, me.
Yes, you.
Yes, me. Thanks for joining, whoever subscribed. Yeah, the privacy policy is just as shitty as the return policy. Yet another reason why you shouldn't buy shit from this merchandise store. Again, just like PayPal, when you tip Phil gets all your fucking personal information. If you buy merchandise from Phil's store, you're giving up all of your fucking personal information up to this company and potentially Phil. I don't know if they share any of this information with him. He did say that he has a contact person where he can get data reported to him. So what's not to say he wants to say who bought my merch, which locations, blah blah blah. What can you share this information? I'm not sure, and honestly, I don't want to find the fuck out. So if you don't want your fucking personal information out there, don't go to this shop. Don't buy any of this fucking cheap ass merch. Go somewhere reputable that actually gives you the fucking option to opt out of this bullshit. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.